For more on the Israeli-Palestinian stalemate, let's now talk to MEP Paul Murphy. He was among activists on the Freedom Waves to Gaza flotilla, which attempted to break the blockade of the area 2 years ago. Mr. Paul Murphy, welcome to RT. So critics predict no positive outcome for these talks. What are your predictions?
Yeah, I think unfortunately it seems that the talks are somewhat of a charade. That it's something initiated by the Israeli establishment in order to create the impression that it's serious, that this government is serious about peace, to placate some international opinion and some domestic opinion. But I mean, the reality is told by the actions of the Israeli government. The expansion of the settlements is the main story, and the Praver plan, which displaces 40,000 Arab Bedouins in the south of Israel, is another element of the story, which is that the Israeli establishment is determined to undermine any basis for a viable Palestinian state. That's why it's expanding the settlements. And so if that's the case, there's no basis for these talks to come to an agreement which would give justice to the Palestinians and lay the basis for a real peace.
Yeah, but we hear many voices, including the voices of US diplomats, who say that Israel's settlement plans actually are no threat to the peace talks. So could this issue actually derail them?
I think it could. I think it puts the PA leadership under a lot of pressure. They want to go ahead with these talks. But it's clear that it's just, I mean, the reality is that the aim of the settlements, it's very, very clear. You have a doubling of settlers over the past 12 years, and it's to break up the West Bank. It's to undermine any basis for kind of a coherent Palestinian state, because in any negotiations, the Israeli authorities will say, well, these people want to be part of Israel, and therefore will try to break up a Palestinian state. So it's directly aimed at any idea of a viable Palestinian state. And I think there is a lot of opposition amongst Palestinians to these talks going ahead on the basis that these settlements are going ahead. And I think that the release of prisoners, I mean, it's 26 were released, 13 were arrested simply on Monday, so half as many as were released. And it's simply, it's something to give to Abbas to say that the Israelis are serious. But I mean, the true story is told by the settlements. If the Israeli negotiators...
Yes, but why do you think Israel won't halt their settlement plans to aid the talks, to help them go?
And because the reality is they're trying to undermine any basis for a Palestinian state. And that's their actions. The actions of the Israeli establishment, really since the start of the Israeli state, has been to create facts on the ground. And that's what's being attempted here once more. And I think, you know, those of us who are fighting for justice for the Palestinians, for a real and genuine peace, which recognises the rights to self-determination and security of ordinary Israeli Jews and Palestinians, have to try and create our own facts on the ground, which can only be based on a mass movement from below of Palestinians rising up against these settlements, against the occupation, against the blockade of Gaza, taking inspiration from the revolutions in Egypt and Tunisia, creating a Palestinian Spring, which also can have an appeal within Israel itself.
All right, Paul Murphy, MEP, Middle East peace activist. Mr. Murphy, thank you very much indeed.